Hi there, this is the advanced level Sadler Miles trap, which follows the course of the intriguing game Matthew Sadler against Tony Miles from the British Championship in Hove 1995. The game started with d4, not e4, but after e6 and e4 and now d5, we've returned to a regular French defence. Knight d2 is the Tarrasch variation, but after black takes on e4, knight takes back on e4, brings or steers the game back to a Rubinstein variation. The most common line here is knight d7. After bishop d3, black offers a trade of knights with knight gf6. White declines and supports the knight on e4 with queen e2. And black strikes at white's little centre with the move c5. Here white decides to trade. Knight takes f6, knight takes f6, and d takes c5, and bishop takes e5. Intending to castle queenside, white plays bishop d2, black castles kingside, and in this not uncommon position, almost invariably white will play long castles here, and this has been played by Anand and Morozevich and Khalifman. So long castles is a decent move by white, but it does coax black into playing queen d5, which is going to hit g2 and a2. So when black responds with queen d5, white will almost reflexively play king b1. However, Matthew Sadler tried bishop c3. And this is quite interesting now. What happens if queen takes a2? Well, if queen takes on a2, white is going to first trade that knight on f6 and open up the king. So bishop takes f6, g takes f6, queen g4 is check, and after king h8, the queen might go to h5. That's not the best move, since black will have slightly the upper hand after queen a1 and king d2. The queen back to a5 is check, and now the king can't return to c1 because of bishop e3 picking up the queen. So the king will have to run out to e2 with slight advantage to black. After king e2, mustn't forget that white has a mate threat, so black will play f5 here with an unclear position, but I think black is holding quite comfortably here. Going back, after we said queen a, we said queen a2 we were looking at, queen a2, and bishop takes f6 takes, queen g4 check, king h8. Queen h5 was not the best, probably queen h4, and that's more or less equal after queen a1, king d2, queen a5. The king can go back to c1 with a repetition of moves, probably a drawish position here. Okay, going back, instead of queen takes on a2, queen takes on g2 was a possibility. Is this pawn poisoned? Well, white will continue with the same idea to undress the black king with bishop takes on f6. After g takes f6, here white could try king b1, giving up the rook, since after queen takes the rook, bishop takes on h7 will result in a draw after king takes and queen h5. White will have no more than a perpetual in that line. And after queen takes on g2 again, if any other move, maybe knight f3, then queen takes on f2 is going to be fine for black. But in the game, after Sadler played this intriguing move, bishop c3 uncommon, Tony Miles, not wanting to have his king opened up with bishop takes f6, played queen g5 check. And now after king b1, knight d5 ensures that the structure of the pawns in front of the black king are going to remain intact, while black is threatening to take the bishop on c3. So bishop runs to e5, and now queen takes g2 was played by Miles. Sadler continues actively with queen h5 as a mate threat now on h7. So that's defended by f5. Now knight f3. And this is an interesting position. Black is struggling here. If black were to try knight f6, then white is still going to have the upper hand. but black is holding on. This try is interesting. Knight f4, since after bishop takes f4, it looks as if black can try queen g4, since if now queen takes on g4, then f takes on g4 is hitting the bishop and the knight, and black is doing okay. However, white need not capture the queen there on g4, but can simply play queen h4 with winning advantage for white. So instead of knight f4, here Tony Miles played the losing move queen g4, and that loses now after giving up the queen on h5. A beautiful queen sacrifice. Rook h1 hits the queen, and now after queen takes on h5, rook takes g7 check, forces the king in the corner, king h8. Sadler went on to win with rook g5, but that's not the correct continuation. Much more direct and to the point is rook dg1, which is threatening mate on the move with rook g8, double check. And if black were to play knight f6, then bishop takes f6. Since after rook takes f6, rook g8 is mate again. That's been a long trap, very high advanced level trap. It's called the Sadler-Miles trap in the French Rubinstein. Hope you found it useful. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.